Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a wonderful day and I hope you're having a wonderful evening as we kind of catch up on what's been happening. If those of you who did manage to catch Trump's speech today would have been a little bit having your neck kind of breaking with the whiplash which we've been seeing. He comes out and says one thing, then his team comes and says another thing, then finally something else happens altogether. And it's getting rather confusing. The American markets have been hammered for the last 2 days thanks to him and his ideas about tariff, and he says they're coming into full effect. And as the markets closed, someone from his cabinet reached out to the media and said they're almost to the point of closing deals with Canada and Mexico on a new agreement, bilateral agreement for exports and imports, and this tariffs will continue to be there. It's not that they're being paused, but a new understanding is being reached. Asian markets took that as a win, and we've been seeing from the Japanese market across Asia, markets reacting rather tepid about it. Some of it positive, some of it negative, but mostly looking neutral, trying to figure out what is really going to be happening. Is this another thing where he's just thumping his chest and finally nothing comes out of it? Or is it something serious? Because what's happened for a change for the first time is, since Trump has always been talking about tariffs and saying these tariffs are coming, and now it's come, other countries, Canada, China, and Mexico, especially Canada, has been very strong and vehement, and the Prime Minister has come out on media and said we're going to hit you back and hit you back hard, and they've outlined what they plan to do. Today, that is tomorrow, that is, the Canadian Prime Minister and Trump are supposed to be getting on call, which is probably nighttime during ours, and they're supposed to come out with a new proposal and trying to figure these things out. Meanwhile, in his speech, if you saw, he was still blustering about Greenland, he was still talking about Panama Canal. It sounded more like a Trump speech from the elections than as a president who's been sitting in power for more than a month. I'm still very confused. So this confusion seems to be playing out in the market. So we are going to see days when the market swings either way as expected with this kind of news. So be careful when you are investing. This is why Anand keeps saying stay in tiffin coffee ranges, because as investors, if you're not careful, you will get burnt, and it's reflecting in the market. A lot of new investors who have come, data showing, who've entered the market in September of last year, have been burning their fingers and burning their hands, and they're rapidly withdrawing whatever losses they have and cutting out of the market and moving out of the market, stock market altogether, which is not good news. Not good news because of any other reason than people are losing faith in our economy and in our companies altogether. It's not good news because things are not as bad as they seem. Yes, all this is short term. All these are cycles, and this is why I stress upon the fact that please learn, please read, please educate yourself and understand how companies work, how businesses work, how the stock market works, and on how, as Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger says, we're here to invest in businesses and not make any kind of gambles in the stock market. And if you're trying to make the gambles, it's not good news. You will end up getting hurt. Talking about gambling, SEBI has come out with some proposals to ease short selling. So immediately when you hear this news, you think this is not good news, because for the simple reason we want to prevent gambling in the market. And Anand has been saying for a very long time, don't do any future options, do not short. First, let's understand, for those of you who do not know what shorting is, let me explain. A regular way to trade in the market is you buy a share and then you can sell it. There's a concept known as shorting. Shorting is you sell before even you buy. So you might be wondering, how is that possible? That is possible by borrowing. Someone who owns the share, they're willing to lend it to you at a fraction of a cost, and you sell it, right? And when that person wants it back, you will buy it in the market at a discount because you expect the price to go down, and you buy it at a lower price and return it to them. So there's an arbitrage there and profit to be made. A lot of people try and do this. I don't encourage you to do it because it's very hard to predict how the markets move. Markets are unpredictable in the short term, especially in the very short term. If you're looking at on a day-to-day basis, it is very hard to say where HDFC Bank price will go and where it will end in a single day. A lot of people think they can. I think sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not, and I rather not play with luck when it comes to this. I would not go swinging my bat at every single ball. So this is what shorting is, and SEBI has come out saying we're going to ease this. What are they easing is the question. There is something known as trade to trade stocks. This is a highly volatile stocks, and those must be settled immediately, except for those T2T stocks, they're called trade-to-trade stocks. SEBI is planning, they have not done this as yet, they're planning to remove restrictions and allowing more stocks to be allowed to be sold in short selling. There is concern, rightfully so, but for other reasons, is what the news is saying. They're more concerned, market participants concerned that many investors may look at this and liquidity of stocks will go down because more and more stocks will become involved in this short selling and liquidity will go down in the market. And if liquidity goes down in the market, there will be few buyers and sellers actually in the market, making actual trading much harder in a lot of stocks because now it's open to this, right? And this will increase more volatility. Prices can swing more sharply in the market, creating more panic in the market. So new investors who have entered the market might lose confidence, and especially small investors may pull away and retreat from the market. So all this is what the main guys who are participants in the market are telling SEBI and warning SEBI of this, that it will create more fear of losses in the market. So this is the reason they're asking SEBI to reconsider it and do it. Meanwhile, SEBI has not said they're doing it. So you might be wondering if all this is true and SEBI is trying to prevent more gambling and they're trying to protect small investors, why would SEBI allow this, even consider this, you may be thinking. Well, the main reason why SEBI is thinking about it in layman's terms is they want to improve the efficiency of the market. What is efficiency of the market? They want to create more price transparency in the market. So as an investor, you know what is more the intrinsic value of a stock in the sense of a market play, not in terms of as traditionally look in terms of value investing. To know if what you are paying is truly the price the market is reflecting, the right price for you. What are really majority of the people in the market willing to pay for a share? Is that true or not is what SEBI is saying they want to achieve here. They haven't come out with a final decision. Once they do come to a final decision, I'm sure it will come out into the news and to the public and we'll know more about it. But does it really affect us as value investors? No, it doesn't really affect us as value investors because, like I said, these kinds of things we don't participate in. We do not participate in shorting the market. We're not trying to game the system. We are trying to invest in stocks and stay in it for the long haul. And if you look at it like that, none of this news really matters to us because we plan to buy and hold it for a very long time. And if you're kind of people like you and me who are buying and holding it for a long time, short selling and short trading and all this really doesn't matter. If anything, more volatility means it'll give us more opportunities to sip and look at stocks, maybe which we are not able to. But I don't see this really affecting these big companies. This will probably be more painful in the smaller companies, which we usually tend to avoid. So that's where that stands. So today, what did I do? Today I was looking at Natco. I was looking at some gold also. I hope you managed to do some different coffee, as Anand says. A lot of the companies were on the positive territory in the morning today as the markets opened. If you see all of the companies which you usually look at, even Tata Motors was up 3% as I was recording this. South Indian Bank was up almost 3%. Your favorite Tata Technology, which I'm not saying you should buy, is up 2%. Karnataka Bank is up. Hero MotoCorp is up, and of course Hero MotoCorp we should touch upon slightly because the news did come out. Not only their sales were down, even TVS sales are down, and surprisingly TVS shares were up yesterday by a few percentage points, while Bajaj and Hero MotoCorp were being beaten in the market. Today they're up slightly. I would still say they're a very valuable company, and these kinds of prices may be hard to get in some future point in time if you look at it in a few years from now when the market does recover and our economy does recover. You will find it hard to get Hero MotoCorp at these price points. Other than that, the rest of them are all positive today. The ones which were negative were the few which were Jyoti Labs. When I'm talking about these companies, I am looking and buying these stocks every day. I don't buy every single stock every day, right? I have a list of stocks which I look at. And today, like how when you go to a hotel, you decide to eat idli, you decide to eat dosa, you haven't had uttappam for a while, you might feel like eating an uttappam, or you might decide, I'll have vada, or I'm on a diet, I'll just have a coffee today, I'm feeling full, or I'm planning to have a meal later on. Like that you think, right? You don't immediately say, okay, I have a menu, I'm allowed to eat everything, I'll eat one of everything. You don't do that. If you do that, you're crazy and you'll feel very sick. Same is true with investing. So you have a list of stock. So every day don't be asking me on Instagram saying, hey, but why didn't you talk about this? Or hey, why didn't you talk about that? Because today I felt like eating Natco. So I ate Natco. Same applies to you. If today you felt like eating Jyoti Labs, fine. If you felt like eating ITC, that is fine. If ITC was up 2 percentage points, it doesn't matter. It is still at value. You don't have to only look at a stock just because it is negative. You can look at a stock even though it is green, up 2% today, up 4% today. Even if it has gone to an upper limit, let's say Natco goes up by 10% today and it on a circuit lock or whatever, upper circuit lock, it so-called hits. It's still a value. Even if Tata Motors goes up by 100 rupees today, it is still at value. I know it's emotionally hard to understand this because we're like, oh my God, we're looking at it very closely and thinking 1 rupee, 2 rupee. But when you zoom out and you're looking at it a span of 10 years, it is at a value proposition today. Like how the price of Tata Motors has come down by 56% over the last so many months, it's going to take time to go back to where it was. Because to go back 1,000, 100, 1,200, it almost has to double. That means grow by 100%. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about all this. So don't fixate on price too much. Don't fixate on why Vinod or Anand is not talking about a specific company today so much, but fixate on what you are doing and making sure you do not overdo it or underdo it. You see the market open positively today. A lot of people are like, oh, the market has become positive today. Today I'm on a diet, I'm missing it. No, you're missing a day to invest. The market being green or red should not matter to you. Or even the stock being green or red should not matter to you. What should matter to you is it in value today? Because today you have a few currencies in your hand which you can afford to invest. Invest. And you'll be thankful to yourself for doing that later. 10 years from now, when I'm older and balder and fatter, sitting here probably in a chair like this, doing like this, we'll have a different conversation of something we bought 10 years ago. I would love to have that conversation with you, and I really would love it if you join me for that journey as I go. It's a long journey. I'm sure not all of us would be interested in being there, but the few which do manage to stick around, I'm sure Rupesh will be around 10 years from now. A little older and wiser Rupesh will be. Hopefully thinner too. We'll all have an interesting conversation. Anyway, I've kind of prattled on a little bit today. I hope you understood. So the short selling news, a lot of you are wondering about what is the SEBI doing. So I wanted to clarify what short selling is and what the SEBI news was all about, which I managed to do. And as far as Trump is concerned, it's only going to give you more opportunities. So don't fixate on what Trump is doing. And like I said, he says a lot of things and he does a whole bunch of things. And finally, what happens is completely different. So this trade war, yes, it's the media which is doing tom-tom on the trade war. Pay attention to the market, and the market will give you far more clarity on what's really happening than news cycles too. Thanks for watching the video today. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you had a wonderful evening. I hope you got something to think about from this conversation I had with you, though it's been one way. See you tomorrow. Another day, another opportunity to invest again. And we will talk some more about whatever happens tomorrow. And hopefully we'll keep investing and trudging along. Stay connected with me on Instagram if it's something you'd like to do. Nothing else more to say. Have a wonderful day. Bye.